They have priority free agents. To be honest, and I can show you both of my rookie cards. I had a rookie card from the Steelers who said that they was gonna pick me up as a priority free agent, and the Giants who actually did pick me up. So it was kind of weird, bro. It was weird as hell. But I signed officially with the
Who's
Giants.
the Steelers coach at that time? Is that Tomlin?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then
He
the
been there
Giants
riding that
is
wave, and the Giants is Tom Coughlin,
okay. So do you get how does that work? Like, do you get calls from them directly, or is it like
my agent.
agent?
Your agent take care of all of that. So then I went in camp with the Giants, but they were loaded. Tiki Barber just now left. Um, Ahmad Bradshaw was going crazy, and they had the big dude, Brandon Jacobs, I
Jacobs,
think.
yep.
Oh my goodness, was a
6'4",
house. I remember when
230,
I was in
240.
camp, bro walked past the room like, "Yo, what's up, fellas?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Bro, he a left tackle, bro."
That's a running back.
Nah, as a running back,
Welcome to the
Brandon
NFL.
Jacobs, welcome to the NFL. Yeah, right, that type of shit. So, yeah, it was crazy, but yeah, and then I went in camp with them. They wanted me more as a special teams guy, but the only thing I did was return. They wanted some, you had to be a gunner, you had to be something like, you had to do something on special teams. And that wasn't really my forte. I was kind of rusty at that stuff. So we can't keep you as a main running back. So we need to release you or, we're not going to bring you back. It was rookie minicamp. So I didn't get to sign with them. And what kills me and what hurts me still to this day is the Redskins wanted me to come next weekend, but my hamstring was shot, bro. My hamstring was
From the
shot.
mini camp?
Yo,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I was like, let me heal up to see what kind of camp I can get into. But I should have went to the Redskins camp and try to do
And try to
whatever.
push through.
But I
Yeah.
feel like, you
You
know what
didn't
I'm
want to give
saying,
them like your
bro. I didn't want to show
yeah.
up and be some,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
So
can see that
I was
staying.
like, let's back on that. Let's let the hamstring heal and see, you know what I mean, what
Yeah.
opportunities come. But you don't want it when you get opportunities. That might be the only one, so you don't want to skip
You
out on
thinking
it.
this might
Yeah. So then the Hartford Colonials came up right on time. The semi-pro league connected with the Giants,
mm-hmm.
and they had a draft. I was their number one draft pick. They said nobody picked up Dixon.
Wait, so this
is the UFL. The UFL came about.
Yep.
And they had 7 different teams.
This is the league where Dante Culpepper and
Yeah.
they have
Dante
some guys.
Culpepper. Our starting quarterback was Josh McCown.
Josh McCown,
Josh
yeah.
McCown is one of the. I think he with the Titans or somebody right
Okay.
now. Is like quarterback coach or
So I
OC or
didn't know
something.
that.
So
You was the number one draft
I was
pick
the
in
number
that?
one draft pick for the UFL.
Okay.
Number one draft pick, Hartford Colonials. Bro, it was dope. So then I come in and name and likeness. We were playing at Rensselaer Field and people were still being able to come see Andre Dixon. So I was on Hot 93.7, a commercial.
Yeah.
Hey, Hartford Colonials, new pro football team in Connecticut. Come see former UConn running back Andre Dixon and the rest of the. That's how the commercial went. They probably could find it somewhere, but that was on Hot 93.7 and everything. Like, so that was my opportunity, and it was still here.
What would you say that level of professional football is compared to? Would you say it's more like SEC football, Canadian football, or like a bad NFL team? Like,
I would say it's like the XFL right now. You know how they got the XFL, like spring league? It's just like that.
Okay.
So you got pro NFL guys, like vets that are like on the back end trying to get back in. And then you had guys like me that are on the front end trying to find their way into pro ball. And then you got guys, in the middle, maybe played a few years in the league or, trying to find another opportunity.
Yep, still chasing
So
that money.
yeah. And it paid the same amount of money that practice squad paid. So if I did get signed with the NFL and was on practice squad making money, I could make that same money with an opportunity to go to any of the teams. You get it?
Yeah, I mean,
so it was a good opportunity.
And just to put in perspective, that's somebody who's coming from New Jersey and paying the bills from football.
Yeah.
That's
exactly.
And that's a lot of people get forced into lives and jobs that they don't want to do. So even though you didn't, get that mini camp extension, like I'm sure you wanted to, you're still playing ball at that point. And how are you feeling like the competition is at that point? Are you dominating like you were at UConn? Is it less competition? Is it more competition? Like how are you in that league?
I had the rookie record for the most yards in the game. I had 94 yards and, my first start. So I was league ready. I got some good cut-ups. I helped them win some games and all of that stuff. So, but I got a super crazy concussion. I think it was the 6th game of the season and I had to sit out for a little bit. But, Yeah, that was kind of a small setback. So once the year was over, people don't want damaged goods. You know, some of the guys on our team went to the Giants, you know, because of the connection that they had. And I didn't get picked up, and I was looking for my next opportunity. And I went to Canada, went to the CFL.
How old are you at this time?
I was 24.
24?
24,
so you're 24
trying to find
and you
my
head up
way.
north.
Yeah, 24, and I go Sacramento Mountain Lions out in Kamloops, man, where you got the city, the water, and the mountains, bro. Beautiful, man. So it was a good
Canada,
experience.
like in the west side or more?
It's west, like okay. You know, yeah, over the top of Cali, over that side.
Okay, so now you're playing running back in the CFL.
In the CFL, okay. which was dope, but that still ain't last really long. You know, they had their star running back at the position. They didn't keep a certain amount of imports, so after a while, I got cut from there also.
And then CFL compared to Hartford Colonials and UConn, like where do they fare in terms of levels and competition?
The CFL will tell you that's their own league. They'll tell you like it's motions, it's shifts, it's a lot of moving parts. It's only 3 downs. You can run a punt back, like a kick back, like it's a whole different league. But is the CFL competitive? Hell yeah. But I feel like it's 2 different worlds, man. And a lot of people will tell you the CFL, the NFL, that shit is completely different.
2 different games.
2 different games. Yeah. So I wouldn't say it isn't competitive or try to downplay it to the NFL. It's just not the
same game.
It's just not the same game, bro.
Okay.
It's just different.
So you're about what, 25 here?
Yeah.
And now CFL is
no longer. And they came with another startup league. You know, and I tore my ACL and had to get ACL reconstruction. That's another year off. So now think about it. I'm 27, 28, you know.
It's looking spooky.
Yeah, it's looking spooky. It's like, yo, where you know what I'm saying? I still got the slice of money right now. You know what I mean? It's looking spooky. Like, what's next? Yeah. You know, so another startup league came, and it was called like the XFL or something like that. Before the XFL they have now.
Yeah, because
I was playing for like the Orlando Black Tips or something like that. You know, trying to get opportunities, but that was crazy too, bro. They was giving us 2 hot dogs and 1 bun, like you know what I mean? Yeah. Big pause, but you know what I mean? Far from the Giants, where you got a whole spread and all of this stuff. So it was a whole different world, man. But I was willing to take on any opportunity, especially I ain't take that Redskins opportunity at that time. You know what I mean? And Robert Morris or whatever Morris, that cat went crazy over there, and he wasn't even a high draft pick. So you know, it makes you think.
And I think like what I'm listening to is like for the young kid that's 16, 17 years old listening to this saying, I want to be a football player. I want to play professional football. Like this is what a real life example of what that life really looks like. You know, the ups, the downs, the in-betweens. You know, do you really love football, or do you want to be liked on Instagram? Like, because dudes that want to be liked on Instagram or, you know, are not in it for the right reasons, you could have quit a long time ago.
Very long time ago.
You didn't have to keep going.
Yeah, and I feel like that's why when you come to train at DHP, it's a different level. And I had a guy come here the other day. He's like, yo, coach, when I go and train myself, I never feel how I feel when I walk out of here. Yeah, because like, yeah.
So before you get too deep into that, let me bring you back a little bit, right? Let me bring you back because that was a lot. So you're 25, 26, and you just came off ACL surgery. You had a stint in the CFL, and now, you know, now what is it? Now we have these in-between years, I feel like, before we really get into the personal training business. Ultimately, we all know what we're here for. You're the owner and CEO of Dynamic Human.
Yeah.
You know? So, but what really led up to that? What was the beginning steps that led me to maybe a business owner or CEO of my own company?
So if you go back all the way back to when I was chasing my dream, I was looking for a place to continue to stay ready so I didn't have to get ready. You know, so when I was looking for a place like what I built, I couldn't find it. Bro, I could not find that niche, that place in Connecticut where guys go to really get league ready. You know, everybody from around here, and they still, a lot of them do, they go to Florida, they go to California, you know what I'm saying? They go to Texas, you know? So, well, I was like, bro, it's nowhere that gets guys like really league ready. It was like a Parisi speed school or like, you know what I mean?
Kind of like the whole dread thing wasn't up here in Connecticut.
Yeah.
That type of mentality towards football. hadn't really been here yet in the early 2000s, 2010s.
It wasn't.
It wasn't here. So you might have been looking for something that didn't exist.
That didn't even exist. Exactly. So
going back to that,
so I was starting to train guys already based off my knowledge and experience that I've been through when I was training in Canada with a certain strength coach. When I trained with Jerry Martin at UConn, one of the best strength coaches to ever live. You know what I'm saying? When I was training in the UFL,
even the people you were training
next to, yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I started to get back all the goods and all of that now, but I was like, bro, it's nothing like that over here for me to train at. I met one dope guy named Mark Welch who had a niche for that type of training.
Shout out to Coach
Welch. Yeah, and he went out, shout out to Coach Welch. Hell yeah, shout out to Coach Welch. You already know that's my geyser. And Coach Welch went and trained with Pete Bomarito, a well-known guy that gets guys ready. He's excellent at what he do. So Coach Welch had a big insight on what it took to play at that level and what kind of training you had to do, to be successful and to stay ready. So I'm happy I met up with Coach Welch, and shout out to Gino Caro also, from Speed School. That's my guy right here, Fast Lane Speed School, man. He also helped me with some stuff also. But those two guys was kind of two guys I latched on to, and I kind of started training some of their athletes. I had my own guys hit me up, Max DiLorenzo, and those, certain guys I started training in the beginning while I stayed ready. And then I ended up getting, one more opportunity, like I said, the XFL. But, as you start to get to 28 trying to get on, man, it's 21, 22-year-olds coming in, and they rather develop a guy than, have this old rundown car that they trying to put gasoline in the run. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I had to move on and take training on full go.
So full go, meaning you started training guys right here in Dynamic Human Performance?
I got a box. In the back still. I'll never throw that box away. I started from a box and went to a building. From a box to a building. That's what I be telling cats. You know what I'm saying?
From a box to a building.
Yeah. So back in Bloomfield, Iron for Zion, my guy Ant had a spot, and he was letting guys kind of start their business out of. I was there. Welch Fitness and Training was there. Welch Strength Training was there. Get Fit started out of there. RIP Trayvon too. That was my guy, man. Yeah. Coach Leanne was out of there with Trayvon doing Get Fit or whatever. So that's where I started at. And then, once you doing something good, you got a good product, man, you blow up. So I went from having my box in the corner with all my stuff in it, lock and key. When I come in, I pop my lid on my box, and I'll train all my athletes, and then boom, 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 close it up and leave, right here in Bloomfield off Toby Road. And then that led to me moving to Hartford and getting a building, you know what I'm saying? So from a box to a building. So
yeah, but I feel like you still skipping some steps. Like you got to Iron for Zion, you'd say at what time? What year? How old were you?
I would say that was 2012.
2012?
Yeah.
And then what year did you open up on 218?
2017.
2017. So it's just, I'm connecting some dots here from your college and your pro story to your business and your professional story as a fitness owner. Like you didn't become the owner of this building here day 1, day 2, day 3 even.
No.
Going back to redshirt and going back to, taking small opportunities like special teams, going now here from the crate to training out of somebody else's gym to hitting people up to, searching for leads to
all that.
Now, not only did you,
going to games, handing out cards, showing face, you know?
The stuff didn't happen overnight.
Nah, hell no, it happened overnight. And I deal with a lot of backlash too. There was a lot of haters, you know what I'm saying? Because anytime you're trying to do stuff, it's gonna be positive shit and it's gonna be negative shit. You know what I mean? It was former UConn players hating on me. It was one, and the kids always tell. So parents, watch what y'all say to the kids. The kids always tell. I went to a game in Southington of one of my young guys. It was a former UConn like lineman or something from Southington there, and the dude must have said at his dinner table to his kids or something like, I was training a lineman to get stronger. Like anybody can train a lineman to get stronger. Most coaches that teach guys don't even play the position ever. You know that, right?
Yeah.
They learn how to coach the position. So I go to the game and so a little kid comes up to me, you training a lineman? Like, you training a lineman? And what? And walked off. It was weird as hell. Not even saying hi or nothing, but a few minutes later, what happens? His dad comes over. Hey, Andre, man, I heard you training blah, 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 whatever the kid name was. You training the lineman, though, man? Or weren't you a running back? Like, right? Like, you know what I mean? Without even saying, like, yo, I see you trying to do good. Yeah. I see you giving back, Dixon, or whatever. Dixon, I see you still in the community. You're not from here. You still a guy giving, helping Connecticut football. The hate is going to come with this also. So that was one of my first experiences early in the game of like, yeah, people are rocking with me too, but it's a lot of hate out there too, man. You know what I'm saying?
Well, taking to where you are now, I think a lot of people don't. They struggle to get to a place where they could work for themselves, make their own schedules, work off. You're not playing football anymore, but you're training kids for football. So like a lot of people don't work jobs that they like.
Yeah, exactly.
So and when people are happy, when people are authentic, when people are walking in their true selves, it also shines a light on things that you may be lacking in. So